Hey guys, welcome back to the Noble channel. Today we're going to be installing another new lip. So we just added a new front lip to our lineup. If you guys remember, we did an install video on two lips already. We did the S208 gloss black front lip, and we did this CS style carbon fiber front lip, which you're seeing on the car now. So if you're interested in either of those, make sure you check out those videos as well. But if you like the S208 style that was in the gloss black form and you wanted it revised in carbon fiber, today is the day because we made it happen. We got a bunch in stock and I'm really excited to show you guys. I think it's gonna look sick. So we're gonna take the bumper off. I'm gonna show you guys the new lip. We'll install it and then I'll get you guys some shots of what it looks like so you know whether or not you want it for your vehicle. And then I'll leave a link in the description of where you can get yours. And so we'll just dive right into it. So we have showed you guys how to remove your bumper before, but today we're gonna give you a quick recap. There's a push clip on either side of the bumper right here by the fender. There's quite a few push clips on the bottom of the bumper, and then there's a couple on the top with some 10mm bolts. It's very simple to get it out. Let's hit the time lapse. So I won't bore you guys with the uninstall of the old lip. We're gonna pull this off real quick. I'll show you the new lip and then we'll get to installing it. So the CS style lip is removed and you guys can see that my bumper looks like Swiss cheese. We have installed numerous lips on this thing, so there's a bunch of holes. So just ignore those, pretend they're not there. So here's what you came for. This is the new carbon fiber front lip. And so it's gonna come with a few things. You're gonna get this little baggie. You open it up, it is going to have those same weather strips that you would find in our other S208 style front lip, and that's gonna go right here along this edge. So you got two of those. You got a bunch of self-tap screws, and these are actually very good. So every time I install a lip, I always use actual nuts and bolts. And so what I did was I installed the self-tappers and some nuts and bolts. So it's hard to say if it was the self-tappers or the nuts and bolts, but either way, it held on, nothing came apart, and I still had all of these self-tappers on the other lip. So then you're also gonna get a little bit of primer or adhesion promoter for your 3M tape, which is good. So with everything out of the bag, what we can do is install our weather stripping first. Once we have our weather stripping installed, then we can install it on the bumper. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna take our adhesion promoter. The lid has a little spike on it, and we're gonna plunge that into the bottle, and that is going, or the tube, and that is going to allow the adhesion promoter to come out. Take a little bit of that and just rub it down the edge of this lip. If a little bit gets on the paint or on the carbon, it's not a big deal. Just run that down. You definitely want to have your 3M tape have something nice to stick to. So go ahead and run that down. Now you can kind of take your finger if you want and just wipe off any excess. Not a big deal. Put the cap back on while we do this side. So when you see this, there's going to be a side with tape and a side without tape. We're going to peel the tape, and that is going to go on our lip. So we want to get the tape peeled and start to stick it fast to our lip. Again, we're sticking this to the lip, not the bumper. And you'll see why here in a second. It'll make sense. We're gonna install this on the lip, go the whole way down, firmly press. If you're worried about it, you can always add a little bit of heat with a heat gun. However, I don't think we're gonna need to do that in this situation. So just push it. It's super hot outside. I don't need a heat gun. I'm just pushing this nice and firm, making sure that 3M tape is firmly stuck on there. Okay, now let that sit, go over, do the other side. So with any lip install, I always recommend having a friend to help you. And again, you can do this on the car as well, but it makes it so much easier if you do it off the car. So I get this lip lined up just about where I want it, and then I have some metal clamps that I'm gonna use to clamp down on this lip and try and keep it where I want it. So what I'll do is I'll put one here right in the middle, try and keep that held fast. So it looks like I need to shift it over just a little bit, and this makes it so easy because now I can have it exactly where I need it. And now what I can do, I can get one side just about where it needs to be. So now I think I have this side just about where I want it to be. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come over to this side, make sure that I can get this side in the same position to where I want it to be. And once I have verified that, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put one self-tapper through this side to hold it on. So you're gonna have pre-drilled holes. Just go ahead and put a self-tapper through that pre-drilled hole. Okay, now again, since my bumper is Swiss cheese, I already have a million holes, so this may be a little tricky for me, but for you guys, this really shouldn't be bad at all. Now I'm going to remove this clamp and lift this up a little bit because I know it's falling down a little short. Clamp it back down. So over here, I have this side just about lined up. I'm gonna put a self-tapper through the edge of this thing. So I'm gonna push up, get it where I want it, make sure it's in place, clamp it down, and run the self-tapper through. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, come over and install a self-tapper on this side. Now we can remove our clamp, and you're gonna see it's loose, but that's a good thing. We want it loose. We are just going to line up and figure out where we want this thing. So we may have to pull up just a little bit on the middle to get our self-tappers through, and that's perfectly normal. So I got it pulled up just a little bit. I'm gonna install that clamp so that it doesn't move. Gonna put my self-tappers through the center. So now, once you have it in the correct orientation, everything's good, just double check that it's even, because if it's not, it'll drive you insane. So now we have our lip even, everything's good. We've determined that it's where we want it. We can remove our clamp or tell our friend that he can let go. Now what we can do is install all of our self-tappers in the pre-drilled holes. And that's it, you're done. You can stop right there. However, if you want to take it another step, what you can do, anywhere there's a self-tapper, you can actually drill a hole through your bumper and install a nut, washer, bolt combo. And so what I would recommend maybe is going to like Harbor Freight or something if you're really scared about using self-tappers. And you can get a set of metric bolts like this. Self-tappers is the easiest, most efficient way to go about this. But if you want a little bit of extra security, or for somebody like me who has 20 million holes in his bumper, I am going to install this with some nuts and bolts. So I'm going to drill a couple extra holes. I'm going to leave all the self-tappers where they are, but I'm going to drill a few extra holes where I already have holes laid out on my bumper and put nuts and bolts through it. And you guys can do that as well, whatever you're comfortable with, but it is going to come with all the hardware that you need. I am finding a place that I want to install a bolt. I'm gonna drill a hole. Very easy, doesn't take any effort. Now I'm gonna take a bolt and washer. I'm gonna feed the bolt through the top and come down with a washer on it. And then I'm going to install a washer and a nut. I've never used lock washers. I've never really needed to. It's been fine just like this. Get it snug and we're good. Now I'm gonna do that a couple more times all around the lip just to double secure it. All right guys, I have all my screws and bolts installed. I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing on the car.